All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. So here I am in the chat.openai.com/chat. This is where you can gain access to ChatGPT. And we can see right here, we have the model to choose from, 3.5 or GPT-4, which is the one we're going to go ahead and use. All right, currently we have like a cap, but this won't be an issue. Okay, so the very first thing we want to do down here in the prompt itself is to specify the following line. Now this, you don't necessarily have to do this, but it's becoming kind of like a trend, trying to inform the AI about what role it's going to play. In our case, we want to generate some initial ideas just from a UX perspective, a research perspective. We want to understand the target audience, if it can help us with that. We want to get some color scheme ideas that would be relevant for this type of business, and so on and so forth. So I've prepared a few initial prompts, but then we're just going to kind of wing it to see what of the prompts would be relevant based on the responses the AI gives us. So the very first one is right down here. You are now a UI UX design research assistant. All right, so let's hit enter and see what it says. All right, so I'm just going to zoom up here. As a UI UX design research assistant, I'm here to help you with any questions or guidance you need related to user interface and user experience design. Feel free to ask any questions, research, or request assistance rather, or share your thoughts on a specific project. I can provide insights on best practices, blah, blah, blah. You get the point. So awesome. So the next prompt I'm going to issue it is this down here, and I'm going to zoom up here. This business is started by a single IBCLC certified registered nurse who will conduct lactation consulting sessions solely online using Zoom. All right, so let's go ahead and send that. And of course, we didn't really ask it for any information yet. I'm just kind of setting the groundwork here. So it's going to give us some ideas. I'm going to hit stop generating. I don't even care about that at the point. So now I'm going to give it this following prompt, which is I need you to help identify the target audience for this online lactation consultant business. Your findings should include the target audience demographics. So we're going to hit enter, and here we go. So let's zoom up, see what it's saying. To identify the target audience for an online lactation consultant business, we can start by considering the demographics and psychographics of a potential client. So here's a breakdown of the target audience. So we have demographics, which includes the age, new mothers and expecting mothers, typically in the age range of 20 to 45 years old. Gender, primarily female, but also including fathers and partners who want to support breastfeeding. See, location, since the consultants are conducted online, the target audience can be geographically dispersed, including clients from urban, suburban, and rural areas. Education, the target audience, let's see here, can have varying education levels, but may lean towards those with higher education as they might be more inclined to seek professional guidance for breastfeeding. So that's an important topic. Income, clients with a moderate to high income as they might be more likely to afford lactation consultant services. Now, one thing I know off the bat, there are those who have insurance do qualify a lot of the times because insurances do cover it. Not all of them though. Psychographics, attitude, parents who value the benefits of breastfeeding and are proactive about seeking professional guidance. Challenges, parents facing issues related to breastfeeding, such as latching difficulties, low milk supply, or pain during breastfeeding. This is all very relevant stuff, and I know this because my wife is a lactation consultant, so I hear about this stuff. Interest, parents interested in learning more about breastfeeding techniques, nutrition, and infant care and lifestyle. Busy lifestyles who prefer the convenience of online consultations, or those with limited access to in-person lactation consultants in their area. So there's not a lot of lactation consultants in the United States, and so this is definitely one of the points that we would like to address and speak to in the ad copy on the website. So that's great information. And so what I would do is I would take both of these, switch over to, this is a brand new, 100% clean, there's nothing in it. Figma document here where I have one page called UX research. So I'm going to get a frame out here, and I'm just going to paste in all that stuff. And of course, we have this very large text area. I'm going to shrink that down. All right, so we're doing UX work here, and this is our first bit. All right, so let's just, there we go. Now we can reformat this, obviously. It would take a little bit of time. I'm not going to do too much here, but we can really present this in kind of like a little bit more of a professional level than rather it just being a large wall of text. So we have age down here, new mothers. We can do this. Then we have gender. Again, you would just want to separate these out. Or C, location, all right. And then we have D, education. And then finally, right here, we have attitude. We have B, challenges. I guess we could put the A back here and the A up here. C, interests, just about done. And D, lifestyle. All right. Honestly, I probably remove these A, B, C, D. Just it's unnecessary. We already have the little subject next to it. But this is helpful, definitely helpful for our purposes. So now what we can do is we can query it once again, and we can ask it to create us 5 user personas that represent your findings from this previous prompt right here. So a user persona is not something we've covered in this course to this point, at least at this point in time. But basically, they're just kind of fictional generalizations, kind of like in-person form, that kind of represent your target audience. And in doing so, it's not something that's required for every project, but it can kind of help you formulate your ideas for how you're going to structure the layout and the ad copy to speak to these people. So putting kind of like a fictional name, a fictional person in front of you can help with the whole empathetic process of trying to connect with potential clients. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this prompt right here. Can you create 5 user personas that represent your findings from the previous prompt? So let's go ahead and hit enter there, and let's see what it does. Certainly. Here are 5 user personas representing the online lactation consulting business. And so here we go. Persona 1, the person's name is Emily, the age is 28, occupation is a marketing specialist, location urban, married, bachelor's degree, income is middle, situation, first-time mother experiencing latching difficulties with her newborns. That's a very typical sort of persona in this type of line of work. Another one is a younger person or older person, a 35, stay-at-home mom, married, master's degree, income's high, mother is 2, struggling with low milk supply for her youngest child. Now, what's interesting, when you issue this particular prompt, you may get a different format for how these personas are delivered to you. I know this because I did it earlier, and it didn't include as much information as it is now. So you can always ask it to readjust these user personas to include additional information that may be relevant. Perhaps when you do it, the marital status might not be there, or maybe it didn't include pain points or whatever situation right here. Last time it included a part called pain points, which I think is just kind of similar to what it has spit out here, which is situation. All right, so it's describing, you know, the current difficulties with the user persona, which is an integral part, it's an important part, the pain points that you want. So what I would do is take these, all 5 of these, and I'm not going to worry about formatting these correctly. It's just going to take too long, but I will paste them in here. So we could do a new frame or just kind of paste this in with the existing one. Oh, good. It has it set up pretty well already. So if I do this, there we go. One thing I'll do real quickly is just hit shift after each one of these. And of course, there's definitely a justification, especially if you have stakeholders who are working with you on this project, for you to go ahead and create cards out of each one of these. You can put actual fictional people with the help of AI. If you're going to use something like an image model, like something like Midjourney, you can create just fake people. Or You could just also put, you could use something like Unsplash. I'll do it for one of them really quickly. Go to Unsplash here, woman, and just try to find somebody that might look like she's, 28 years old. Of course, we could completely do this with Midjourney as well. In fact, you know what? Well, let's just use one of these. So I'm going to hit O on my keyboard. We're going to create a little circle there, and then we'll use her. She looks like she could be, actually, she looks like she could be 28 easily. We can zoom in here real quickly. We can modify the image over here. And let me get out of the way real quickly. And then we can change it to crop. Now we can move her in. There we go. All right, so that's our first one. Now I'm going to show you how to use Midjourney AI to create just a fictional user persona picture that you could use right here. So I'm going to switch over to the Discord app. All right, so here I am in one of the general areas, the channels that you can join. You can also create your own Discord server, invite it, and that way you don't have all these other people generating prompts here. It's up to you entirely. So I have a prompt ready to go here, and the way you do this, let me zoom up, is we first just go ahead and specify /imagine rather, hit enter, and then now here's our prompt. So I'm going to say 35-year-old woman, and for this particular persona, it was somebody with high income. So we could also add something like luxury. I said I had this prepared beforehand, but I didn't. I realized I never wrote it down. So I'm just kind of thinking off the top of my head. 35-year-old woman. We'll say she's brunette, long hair. And then we can also specify luxury, in a luxury kitchen during a sunny day. Now we're going to put V5, and I think that's good right there. V5 for Midjourney version 5. Currently, we have to specify this tag. And let's see what it ends up producing. So now if I go back, right here, you can see it has my name, and it is currently waiting to start. So it's going to take, all right, so it's starting right now. Now it's interesting because it looks like the image is appearing to be darker. So again, I have no clue what it is about to produce, but then again, at 0%, can't really say anything much. Now it's starting to come into shape, and once we find one we like, we have two options. We can either create or prompt it to create different variations of one that we like a lot, or we can up-res it, meaning we can get a higher quality version where it's just going to give us one, that particular image that is of high quality. And so I'm already loving what I'm seeing so far. Even as at 62%, it's blurry. I can tell these are definitely going to work. It's almost exactly what I imagined. I asked for a 35-year-old woman, and you can see she's not exactly aged. Like she's not too young. She's not too old looking. So I'm like really liking this lower right-hand corner one just because it has a lot of sunshine. This one would up top would work as well. So let's check this out. So looking at this, these are pretty amazing. It's one of my first times actually doing this. And the hands look good right here. Hands were always an issue in the other ones. These hands look good up here. There's not extra fingers. Very, very impressive. So I actually like version 4 right here. So what I'll do is I'm going to take, you can see these buttons right here. So all we have to do if we want to create more variations of this particular image, this would be 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we really like the one that's version 4, for instance, we just hit U4. So then it's going to give us, it issues a new prompt down here, and it basically has it ready for us. Look at that. So now it does look a little bit strange right around here. You could tell there's some kind of issues, but you know what? We're not even going to show her hands. We're just going to show this part. That's all we need. So now we can just open in browser. It's a PNG file, so we can save this image as by right clicking. And I'll just call this 35-year-old woman. Save it on my desktop. We will go back. Let's hide this. And now we can go ahead and take our image, choose image. Here she is. And of course, we want to choose fill first, but then crop back again and make it larger. So we could take this image here, hold Shift and Alt, scale up. Look at that. So I just showed you two different ways that you can use Unsplash, which is the old approach, or the new approach of using AI to create a person that doesn't even exist. Very, very, very cool. So you could do this through all the rest of these just to add them, or add to them rather. All right.